Hi, hello. This is another one of my little short podcasts that I've designed specifically really for this time, COVID-19, lockdown, furlough, the world changing around us. You may have seen my last one I did, which was really all about trying not to worry too much, trying not to get too anxious, and at the same time, trying to make your days productive, so that anxiety wasn't getting in the way of productivity. This one is slightly different, but it's also on about using the time bar. And it's really, it explains a little tool that I'm going to go through later. I'm even going to show you a little diagram that gives you a way to take stock of where you are really in your life at whatever stage you may be. I think it's a good time to do this. The whole thing that's going on at the moment has changed an awful lot for a lot of people. And, you know, in times of change, you start to think differently, you start to question things, etc. And maybe this little tool could give you an opportunity to get some of that thinking possibly in order. I'm terribly sorry if you heard somebody on a motorbike go past. So, as I say, it's a little tool for assessing where you're up to. One thing that kind of always amuses me is people say, all I really want in life is just to be happy. I'd like my children, all I want is for them to be happy, or whatever it is. Now, you think about that, it's a bit of a silly thing to say, really, because happiness is a relative concept. Happiness is relative to other states. There's a little bit of rain in everybody's life. We all get nervous. We all have bad days. We all have good days. We all have a bit of luck. We all have some bad luck. So an expectation to be happy all the time is in itself going to fail and going to create anxiety and problems for yourself. I think what's much more useful is to think more of a spectrum. And when you take happiness as a spectrum, there's various things that can be involved. So one thing is fun, going on holiday, eating out, whatever it may be, there's fun. It's not happiness, it's fun. It's part of happiness perhaps, but it's fun. There's contentedness, being calm, relaxed and content in the moment. There's accomplishment, making things happen. There's giving, charity, generosity, helping other people. And, if you look at all those things in balance, then you can strive to achieve what I would call congruence. And congruence is a balance between all of those things. And these things are, of course, different at different, parts of people's lives. If you take fun, some people get into a really bad pattern of striving for more and more fun. Trying to do things all the time that keep the fun up and the energy up. It's exhausting. It's relentless, and it's not gonna make you happy. One of the things that some of you may have noticed during this period where we're not allowed to do the normal things is that accomplishments can change. You may have planted some seeds in your garden and felt really good about it. You're not writing a symphony orchestra or some major change at work. You're planting some seeds, but still you can feel an accomplishment. You may have found contentedness. I was talking to a friend the other day who said they'd read a book and they hadn't read a book for years. And they felt really contented and relaxed about it. You giving, generosity, you may have helped a neighbour, bought some shopping, whatever it may be. The times of change will probably have meant that you are calibrating and measuring fun, accomplishment, contentedness, generosity in slightly different ways. And as I say, I think that's a good place to start reassessing. I also say that in different points of different lives, these things have different meaning, different impact. So, younger people, work can be very important, striving, trying to make some money to buy a house or whatever. older people like me, you know, time tends to be more important in order to do, you know, to relax and spend time not working. You know, a lot of us have done our work, or done a fair proportion of it. So onto the tool. It's really two parts. The first part is to ask yourself a question and write down the answers. And the question is, what is important to me? If you think about it, what's important to me? That question generates information about beliefs and values and higher level drivers that you have. Your beliefs and your values, your aspirations and your self-identity is what drives your day-to-day behavior, self-definition, etc. You know, if I say something like, I am someone that regularly does exercise, I am defining myself. It's a lot easier to do regular exercise if in your belief system you've got the statement and your self-definition. I am someone who regularly does exercise, rather than I really must try and do more exercise. It's kind of harder to come from there. So we make a list, and we make a list around what's important. And actually I'd refine that and say what's really important. What is really important to you? You know, some people say, well, actually, it's important that I do exercise. Is it really important? Yeah, it's really important that I do exercise. It's what makes me tick. If I don't get my exercise, I twitch and I don't feel comfortable. Okay, that can go on your list. So let's make a list of the high priority things, the things that are really important to me. You know, it's really important that I spend valuable time with my friends. Well, actually, you know, I'm quite good on my own, really. And occasionally it's nice to see friends. So whatever it is, but what's really important. And you need to be honest about it, and you need to evaluate. And once you've made that list, you need to think about that list and assess them, etc. What I recommend is that you draw them in some kind of a bar chart. And I'll show you the one that I've done for myself here. If we look at my PowerPoint file here. Okay, so this is mine. So I've got time with children, practical work, social action, developing my business, quality time with partner, learning French and physical exercise. And I've kind of bar chart them up in different levels. And this is kind of where I see myself at the moment. So if I go through a few of these. Time with children, I've got two children, two boys, one is 24, one is 22. And when I say time with my children, this isn't, you know, going to a restaurant, taking the dog for a walk. This is proper quality time with my children. And really what it's about is helping them in their careers and their business activities, and being involved in that, being involved in it in a way that they want me to be involved in it, that's, you know, that adds, that gives, you know, hopefully uses some of my experience. Perhaps, you know, perhaps it's a bit more important to me than it is to them at times, but it's about having that quality relationship. The next one, practical work. I learned this some time ago. It was missing in my life. You know, my life was very much around businesses and training rooms and writing training courses and writing proposals and all that kind of thing. I very much missed practical work, do-it-yourself kind of work, and carpentry and so on and so forth. And I put that right some years ago. It now always features. It's very much part of me. I love doing it, and if I haven't got it there, I feel a bit whole. Social action, I've always been interested in sort of political, social, trying to change the world for a better place. My version, I don't know whether other people's version, but it's something again that I find I need to spend some of my time doing, and it's difficult. You know, it's a sort of thing that can upset people. It can get you into arguments or whatever, and I have to think carefully about how I do it, when I do it, who I do it with, and in what ways. Developing my business, I run a business which I mostly enjoy, but it constantly needs developing. It's important to me. I want to make it better. I put quality time with my partner rather than just time with my partner. Quality time, you know, we spend a lot of time together, but it's really important we spend time together doing things that we enjoy together, etc. We work quite hard at that and assess it. We do, for instance, on the first day of every year, on the 1st of January, we always go for a walk, whatever the weather. And we always say, what would you like to accomplish this year? And we listen to each other and we make a list, and we try to dovetail those things together. I've got learning French. I spend a lot of time in France, and my French is, I was going to say average, probably poor to average, and needs some effort and energy. And physical exercise, I'm reasonably good on physical exercise. It's not a major, I'm not one of those people that constantly has to do physical exercise. In fact, one of those people that gets it out of proportion and does it at the expense of other things. But you know, it is important to me, and I do enjoy some of it, not all of it, but some of it's for my health, etc. So this is kind of my list, and there they are, and it's reasonably imbalanced. And I've drawn a line across it, because I think what's really important is that you're above the line in all your activities, and the adjustment above the line is kind of fine. Where the problem comes is below the line. So I have one below the line, which is learning French. Driver, it's something I really want to do, and I don't really, when I think about it, when I analyse it, I don't really put enough time in, and I don't really put enough effort in. So I need to steal a bit of time from somewhere else, and steal a bit of energy and motivation from somewhere else, and get that bar slightly over that line, in order that that one is the balance. And me doing this exercise this time has kind of taught me that. Until sitting down thinking about this little talk, that hadn't really become apparent, but now it's apparent, and I need to do something about it. So this exercise, it's really simple, really simple. Firstly, work out what is important to you. What are your drivers? What are the things that you kind of have to have? They may change over time as you go through your life, but they're things that are there, things that when they're missing, it's not great, you know? This time, you know, you may have noticed, I was talking to that person earlier on about reading a book, and, you know, they'd missed that, and it was making them content. I spoke to somebody else who said they'd really enjoy doing Zoom meetings with old friends and having a chat over the internet. And they said, do you know, I'm not the sort of person who goes to drinks after work or goes to many social occasions. And I think they were realising that actually they found another way now to get that social cohesion, but it is something that they've not really paid enough attention to, and now they were giving it some extra effort and impetus, and hopefully as we move on and go through, that something that they will adjust to get their congruence and their balance level better. So as I say, it's about congruence and balance. It's not about just doing one thing. You don't want a bar chart with 2 great big bars and 3 or 4 underneath the level. It's not about happiness. Happiness, as I say, is fun, it's accomplishment, it's giving, and it's contentedness. It's all those things in some kind of spectrum, and there's probably other words we could use as well. So it's about balance, and it's about congruence. I think this is a great time to assess this, because we're all questioning where we're going, what's going to happen. We don't know. All sorts of things are likely to change and happen. It's a really good time to spend a little bit of time, probably take you an hour, maybe 2 hours at most, to do this exercise, and realise that the balance and congruence in your life is under your control, even in difficult circumstances like this. I hope you found this useful. I will be doing some more, and please feel free to message me if you want, if there's anything particular you'd like me to talk about. Cheerio, stay safe, and good luck.